Once you learn these life lessons, you will never be the same. Do you really believe life is just about being born, going to school, paying bills, and waiting for the weekend? If so, I hate to break it to you, but you've been misled. We were told that success means having a diploma, that peace is just the absence of conflict, and that happiness is all about having more and more. But the truth is, the greatest life lessons aren't found in school books or on big stages. They live in the silence, in the falls, in the quiet conversations with those who've lived long enough to stop chasing everything and start chasing themselves. Maybe that's where you are right now, tired, doing everything right, but still feeling like something's missing, like you've lost a map somewhere along the way. Here's the good news. This isn't the end. It's a calling, because there are certain truths that, once you learn them, they break something inside you, just so they can rebuild something even greater. Timeless wisdom, overlooked advice, simple, raw truths, all in one video that doesn't promise magic, but it does promise something more powerful. Clarity. You'll learn why time betrays you when you don't make it your ally, why silence often speaks louder than noise, why trusting the wrong people can cost you years of your life, and how the discipline you've been avoiding is the bridge between where you are now and the future you've been dreaming about. These aren't motivational quotes. They're keys. And if you turn these keys with intention, there's no way you'll stay the same. But let me warn you, this video might shake you up. It might flip your thinking. It might make you question the very routine you defend every single day. And that's exactly what it's meant to do. Because if you truly want personal growth, you're going to have to face your beliefs, rearrange your priorities, and let go of the version of you that's just trying to please everyone. Only then can you build the life you've always wanted, with clarity, with intention, with full ownership of who you are. So stick around. Watch it to the end. Because some truths don't just change your day. They change who you are. And this might be the last time you press play as the person you are right now. Core lessons and life truths. Have you ever noticed that the most powerful life lessons rarely come wrapped in shiny books or fancy speeches? They show up in silence, in the eyes of someone who's fallen and gotten back up so many times that they've learned to value the ground. They come from people who've realized, through experience, that time doesn't rewind, and that pain, when used the right way, is one of life's best teachers. And what's fascinating is that these lessons, these hidden gems, are all around us, but we miss them because we're too busy chasing everything, except ourselves. Wisdom lives in the simple things. And if you pay attention to the details, to the quiet gestures, you're already a step ahead on your journey toward real self-awareness. Most people go through life confusing movement with progress. They run around all day, busy schedules, checklists, goals, but inside, they're stuck. So here's the question. What's the point of moving fast if you don't even know where you're going? What we're missing most of the time is mental clarity. We need silence, stillness, a little bit of peace inside. You only find real purpose when you stop following the noise and start listening to your own voice. Because true personal growth starts when you finally meet yourself. And that only happens when you stop hiding behind the chaos. Here's the truth no one teaches you in school. Discipline isn't a prison. It's freedom. Self-control matters more than talent. Consistency beats brilliance every single time. And what changes your life isn't one big moment. It's the tiny daily choices, the ones no one sees but you feel. Waking up early, drinking water, reading 10 pages a day, saying no to distractions, creating a morning routine that actually means something. That's how you win over time. A lot of people want transformation, but they don't want to pay the price. Well, here's the truth. The price isn't money. It's focus. It's presence. It's taking responsibility for yourself, even when no one's watching. Real high performance starts when you understand that living well has nothing to do with showing off, and everything to do with living a simple, intentional life. It's about choosing your values, aligning your actions with your words, and refusing to trade your authenticity just to be liked. Freedom begins the moment you stop needing approval from anyone. And speaking of freedom, have you noticed how it often hides in the little things? Sometimes it's in that quiet walk as the sun sets, in a slow cup of coffee, in a peaceful moment with a good book. If you're looking for a place to start, try reading. You can work your own miracles or Outwitting the Devil. Those books don't just inspire you. They reprogram the way you see reality. They hand control back to you. And once you truly begin to know yourself, everything else starts to fall into place. Because wisdom isn't knowing everything. It's knowing what matters. And to know what matters, you're going to have to go beyond books. You'll need to learn how to control your mind, mindset, and self-discipline. The mind is vast and dangerous. If you don't learn how to master it, someone else will. And they won't always have your best interest at heart. Marketing does it. Social media does it. Even people close to you, without meaning to, can push you into living a life that's not really yours. That's why mind control isn't just a smart move. It's survival. If you don't decide what to think, you'll end up thinking what others decided for you. A strong mindset, built intentionally and carefully, is what separates those who merely survive from those who truly live. Now, let's talk about a word many people avoid: discipline. It sounds boring, rigid, exhausting, right? But here's the truth. Discipline isn't the end of freedom. It's the beginning of it. Discipline is choosing what you want most instead of what you want right now. It's getting up early to work on your dream while everyone else is still sleeping. It's saying no to pizza on a Tuesday night because your body deserves better. That's not punishment. That's self-respect. And if there's one thing older people consistently say, it's this: time moves fast. Too fast to waste it on habits that feel good, but steal your future. And speaking of the mind, oh, yeah, it lies. It tells you you can't. It makes excuses. It dramatizes failure and spins stories that hold you back. That's why you need to train your mind, just like a muscle, every day. Want a simple practice? Start each morning by writing down 3 positive thoughts. Sounds silly? It's not. That's called journaling. And it's how you organize the chaos inside. Over time, you'll realize that what held you back wasn't lack of skill. It was mental clutter. Those who train their thoughts develop mental clarity. And with clarity comes the power to choose your path with intention. Here's something powerful. Silence is a weapon, one of the most powerful you can use. But few know how. When you feel like snapping, proving your point, or fighting back, try silence, not as a way to escape, but as a strategy. Self-control doesn't make you weaker. It makes you stronger. As the wise say, real power lies in mastering yourself. This applies in arguments, in negotiations, in big decisions, and most of all, in your inner dialogue. Sometimes, choosing to stay silent is the loudest expression of strength. But here's the catch. All of this, mindset, discipline, self-control, means nothing if you don't learn from your mistakes. Nobody gets it right every time. And that's okay. To make mistakes is human. To repeat them, that's stubbornness. But to learn from them, that's real growth. Use failure as a launch pad. Reflect, forgive yourself, adjust, and move forward. Because if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying. And if you're not trying, you've already lost. But those who learn, they evolve. And when you start evolving, even quietly, your results will start speaking louder than ever. Relationships and trust. Trust is like thin glass. Once it cracks, it never looks the same again. And the sad part? It's usually broken by the people you trusted the most. Older generations warn us about this with almost painful clarity. Be careful who you trust, because not every smile is genuine, and not every person who gets close has good intentions. Some people only show up when they need something. They disappear when you fall, and quietly they hope you fail. Hard to accept? Yes, but it's also what protects you. It keeps you from walking into traps disguised as affection. You can't rely emotionally on everyone around you. And here's a truth few are ready to hear. Even your shadow leaves you in the dark. That's not pessimism. It's awareness. When life gets tough, many people vanish. And that's when you finally see who's with you out of love and who is just there for convenience. Real relationships are built in the storm, not on sunny days. When everything falls apart, who stays? That's who deserves to stay. Building self-confidence and learning to stand on your own 2 feet is a non-negotiable part of personal growth. And one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make is choosing who you let into your life. Here's a simple rule. If someone treats you like an option, treat them like a decision and choose to walk away. Your energy is too valuable to waste on people who can't see your worth. Self-worth is born the moment you stop begging for attention and start enjoying your own company. When you respect yourself, you attract respect. When you prioritize yourself, you attract people who know how to do the same. A lot of people are still dragging around relationships that died a long time ago, holding on out of fear of being alone. But real loneliness isn't being alone. It's being surrounded by people who make you feel small. Sometimes, personal growth requires goodbyes to friends who won't grow, to partners who don't inspire you, to family members who don't respect your boundaries. Yes, it hurts, but it also sets you free. Creating space for new, healthier connections takes courage, but it brings an incredible reward. The chance to live with people who match the person you're becoming. Here's a challenge for you. What kind of people do you want by your side in this life? Because if you don't know what you deserve, you'll accept anything. And when you settle for crumbs, you're sending a clear message to the universe. I'm not ready for the feast. So start being more selective. Study human behavior. Read books like The 48 Laws of Power or Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. This will sharpen your awareness. You'll start recognizing patterns. You'll learn to protect your peace. And once you become more intentional about who gets access to your life, you'll start to understand the true value of time and the power of choosing your priorities wisely. Time and priorities. There's something older people always say, and most of us don't really listen. Time is your most valuable resource. Not money, not connections, not even talent. It's time. Because money can be lost and earned again. Energy can be restored. But time, once it's gone, it never comes back. What's wild is most people live like they've got all the time in the world, as if life were just a rehearsal. But it's not. Life is a show. The curtain's up, and the clock is already ticking. So here's the question. Are you using your time with intention, or are you wasting it with distractions? You see, the phrase, "I don't have time," is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. No one is too busy. They just have different priorities. The person who doesn't have time to take care of their health, soon enough, they'll have to find time for illness. The one who never has time for family, one day, they'll look around and realize they're alone. Here's the harsh truth. If something is important, you make time. If it's not, you make an excuse. And when you really get that, you start guarding your time like treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Now listen, this isn't just about time. It's about now, the present moment. Some people live stuck in yesterday, reliving their mistakes, missed chances, regrets. But life doesn't move backward. You can't change the past, but you can shape the future. Don't let yesterday steal the beauty of today. The present is a gift. Yes, it's a cliche, but a true one. And peace often comes from one simple habit: being fully present where your feet are. Here's a practical tip. Plan your week around what actually matters. Take a blank sheet of paper and write this at the top. What brings me closer to the life I want to live? Then fill your days with those things. Include daily reading, time with people who inspire you, moments of stillness, exercise, and eliminate everything that fills your time but empties your soul, because the world will try to distract you every chance it gets. And if you don't know what you want, you'll end up living someone else's plan. Here's a powerful reminder. Do you remember the dreams you had 5 years ago? You might be living some of them right now and still complaining. Lack of gratitude distorts your sense of time. Reflecting on how far you've come is a huge part of self-awareness. Remember, the life you take for granted today could be the life someone else is praying for. When you live with that kind of awareness, you begin to see that personal growth isn't just about what you're chasing. It's also about appreciating how far you've already come, even if the journey hurt. Growth and resilience. Every true transformation starts with pain. Not physical pain, but that deep internal ache. The kind that forces you to stop, to question everything, to look in the mirror and finally see what you've been hiding from yourself. Growth hurts because it demands self-awareness. And that only happens when you stop running and start facing what needs to be faced. Life doesn't reward those who avoid discomfort. It rewards those who grow through it. The first lesson? Accept that personal growth is rarely comfortable, but always worth it. At the beginning, it's tough. You try to change your habits, wake up earlier, read more, meditate, exercise, but it feels like nothing's working. And the urge to quit hits hard. But that's exactly when resilience is born. Here's the secret. It's all about repetition. You don't build muscle by hitting the gym once a week. And you don't build emotional strength by trying once and giving up. It's daily work. It's showing up. It's those micro wins. Resisting the urge to procrastinate. Finishing something you were about to push off. Reading those final pages when you're tired. Tiny wins, stacked up, shape a brand new identity. And yeah, it's gonna hurt. You'll break. You'll feel like you're not cut out for this. Like the world is against you. But that's a lie. Yes, you'll break, but only so you can rebuild stronger. Because breakthrough doesn't happen without pressure. Precious stones don't come out of the ground shining. They're shaped, refined, under pressure. And you're no different. Every time you fall and rise again, you prove to yourself you're stronger than you thought. And that proof is yours forever. Now think about this. What if the challenge you're facing right now isn't punishment, but a test? A turning point? Hard times shape ordinary people for extraordinary futures. Look around. So many leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, they came from pain. That's not coincidence. It's transformation. Read their stories. Watch documentaries. You'll see how pain planted the seed for something greater. People like Nelson Mandela, Viktor Frankl, Bethany Hamilton. They found meaning inside the suffering. And you can too. Once you understand that everything changes, you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That one change in perspective shifts the entire game. You take back your power. You rewrite your story. And what looked like the end becomes a beginning. Because when pain meets the intention to grow, mental strength is born. That's when the magic happens. When you stop just surviving the storm and start learning how to dance in the rain. And then one question remains. How do I turn this pain into direction, into purpose? Purpose and success. Success. That tiny word that carries so much weight. But let me share a secret. One that most people take a lifetime to realize. True success has nothing to do with money, fame, or applause. It has everything to do with purpose. It's about waking up in the morning with clarity, knowing exactly why you do what you do. It's about feeling that your existence matters, that you're contributing, even if no one's watching. It's the peace of laying your head on the pillow at night and thinking, today I was exactly who I needed to be. And that has no price. Most people spend their lives chasing shortcuts to success, looking for magic formulas. But here's the truth. There is no magic. There's only planting and harvesting. You reap what you sow. And if you don't sow, don't expect a miracle. It's like wanting a garden without ever touching the dirt. Personal growth takes sweat, patience, and time. As the old saying goes, don't expect a harvest where you haven't planted. The problem is, a lot of people want the results, but they don't want the process. They want the glory, but not the routine. And that's where success is born, in the routine. Winners focus on the goal, not the obstacle. They know the road is long, but they keep going, because a journey with purpose is stronger than any difficulty. Losers, they waste time watching others, comparing, judging, criticizing. Meanwhile, the winner is locked in, focused, disciplined, consistent. That's why focus, resilience, and a positive mindset are so powerful. They shield your vision from distractions. And the truth is, if you stop every time a dog barks, you'll never reach the right door. Here's one of life's greatest truths. Sacrifice a few years of comfort for decades of freedom. Work like no one else now, so you can live like few ever will. This doesn't mean becoming a slave to work. It means having clarity, discipline, and consistency. Study more, invest wisely, say no to what drains your energy. Here's a simple example. While most people are binge-watching shows late at night, you could be reading The Science of Success or doing deep work that brings you closer to your dream. And if you're still unsure about your purpose, try this. Close your eyes. Imagine the world had forgotten you. None of your achievements were remembered. Now ask yourself, what's the one thing I'd want people to say about me? That answer is your clue. Because the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you discover why. And once you know your why, something shifts inside. You'll feel the urge to rearrange everything, from your schedule to your circle. And that's when simplicity starts to shine. Peace and simplicity. Peace, inner peace. So desired, so talked about, and yet so misunderstood. Most people think peace is the absence of noise. But true peace is silence on the inside, even when the world outside is screaming. And to get there, you need to simplify. Cut the excess. Quiet the external voices. Remove what weighs you down, what confuses you, what doesn't serve you. A simple life doesn't mean a small life. Far from it. It means space. Space to grow, to think, to breathe. Because only those who aren't drowning in chaos can truly breathe. Here's a practical first step. Shrink your circle. Not out of arrogance, but out of emotional intelligence. Keep close only to people who inspire you, support you, and challenge you to be better. Toxic relationships drain your life energy. And when you protect your energy, you protect your mind. That's when peace begins to take root. Trade the need to please everyone for the courage to be yourself. And that takes authenticity. Those who are real don't need masks. And those who don't wear masks, they live lighter. And that's freedom. Another key ingredient? Time alone. Sometimes solitude is the best medicine. That quiet time with yourself, that's where the real insights come from. And no, you don't need a spiritual retreat for that. Sometimes it's a quiet cup of coffee on your porch, a walk without your phone, a Sunday with zero commitments. Use those moments to journal. Write how you feel, what you've learned, what needs to change. This kind of practice deepens self-awareness and clears the noise, because when your mind quiets down, your soul finally speaks. Peace also comes when you learn to let go of people, stories, expectations, and outdated versions of yourself. Some things are simply out of your control, and that's okay. Trying to control the uncontrollable is a fast track to anxiety. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means acceptance, and acceptance is wisdom. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to what happens. Emotional discipline, the ability to let things flow, is a rare virtue, but one that radically transforms the quality of your life. And if you still believe peace depends on where you live, or who's around you, or how much is in your bank account, you might be looking in the wrong place. Peace isn't a destination. It's a daily choice. It's an internal state, built through simple, consistent practices. Light eating, daily movement, uplifting reading, healing conversations, quality sleep, and above all, decisions align with your life purpose. Because when you start living with intention, when your actions have meaning, warnings, and wisdom, life has traps, my friend, and many of them come disguised as normal. Sometimes what looks like affection is actually manipulation. What seems like friendship hides jealousy, and what sounds like advice is just criticism wearing a mask. One of life's most urgent lessons is this. Learn to observe. Really observe. Salt and sugar look the same, but they taste completely different. Same goes for people, situations, and even opportunities. Wisdom means developing a filter, not absorbing everything you hear as the absolute truth. Not everyone is rooting for you. The sooner you accept that, the better. Some people pretend to be on your side, but secretly clap when you fall and get uncomfortable when you rise. And you know what makes it worse? Oversharing. Don't tell everyone everything. Most people don't care. And some, sadly, are hoping you fail. Protect your dreams. Guard your plans. Not out of fear of envy, but out of self-respect. Your journey is sacred. Don't throw it in just anyone's ears. And here's another subtle trap. Trusting too quickly. You've seen it. Friend betrayed by childhood best friends. Entrepreneurs ruined by trusted partners. It's not about living paranoid. It's about growing emotionally intelligent. A mature mind doesn't give itself away too easily. It watches, it tests, it evaluates. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do need to be clear about who gets access. Even wolves know how to wear sheep's clothing. Another vital lesson. Don't burn yourself twice with the same fire. One mistake? Okay, it happens. But repeating it? That's a choice. If someone lies to you, betrays you, harms you, learn. The universe repeats the lessons you refuse to learn. That's why so many people keep living the same painful cycles, the same toxic relationships, the same failed business decisions, the same self-sabotaging patterns. Why? Because they don't learn from the pain. They just complain about it. But complaining doesn't change your life. Conscious action after the mistake, that's what does. And finally, remember this golden rule. Just because something is normal doesn't mean it's right. Living exhausted, always rushing, surrounded by noise and empty people. That might be normal, but that's not living. That's just surviving. Self-growth begins the moment you start questioning the obvious, when you stop following the herd and start thinking for yourself. And yes, that takes courage, because the path of wisdom is often a lonely one, but it's also where you find mental freedom, discernment, and real clarity. And with that clarity, we return to the beginning, to the truth that, when understood deeply, changes everything. Life lessons shape your mind, and your mind shapes your destiny. Now that you've heard all of this, let me ask you, are you still going to live on autopilot? Keep dragging your days forward, ignoring the signs life keeps giving you? Or are you finally ready to take the wheel and apply these life lessons that most people ignore, but a few turn into power? You don't have to change the world today, but you can change your tomorrow with one simple decision. Start with consistency. Start with discipline. Start with small daily actions that, over time, shape a new version of you. Stronger, lighter, more conscious. So now I'll ask you again. What will you do with everything you just heard? Will you write it down, reflect on it, apply it? Or will this just become another video you watched, felt, and forgot? And tell me, are you behaving like someone who respects their time? Are you building the right relationships, honoring your purpose, training your mind, or letting others program it for you? This is your moment to flip the script, to step away from the crowd, and begin your real journey, the one that leads to true success, the kind that starts in silence, grows in discipline, blossoms in simplicity, and shines in authenticity. And if this video stirred something in you, if even one line made you stop and think, then it already did its job. But this is just the beginning. The journey continues. And if you want to be part of it, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join this tribe of seekers, doers, and dreamers who refuse to settle for less. Because here we demand more purpose, more growth, more meaning. So now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments, which lesson hit you the hardest? And more importantly, what are you going to do about it? Starting today.